anyone that wants to do one of these really needs to proceed with caution. There's not a lot of room for the downpipe. I think we're on hour 3 or 4 making it, so fingers crossed this thing is super worth it when it's done. Hey everybody, welcome back to the J-Wit YouTube channel. I'm Jonathan Whitaker, and for those new to the channel, we are continuing our 2009 Trailblazer build. This is a 4.2 liter inline 6 4x4 with a stock 4L60 transmission. On today's episode, we are going to be doing many things over the course of the next 2 days. So this is day one. First of which, this harness is from LimeSwap. You see it here, limeswap.com. Now, Jeremy, who owns LimeSwap, I reached out to him about a month ago and said, hey man, you know, I know you have this EV6 harness, but a lot of these injectors that we use, well, I don't want to say we, I'm still new to the 4.2 build, but a lot of the folks will use the Snake Eater injectors or an EV1 style LS long style injector. And I was like, hey, if you have a plug and play harness that had an EV1 style plug, it would be super convenient because then you don't have to run adapters and you for sure won't have any fitment issues with the stock intake. You don't really have any fitment issues with the adapters, but for those that want to eliminate any type of, you know, connection interference with the adapter and the stock harness, or if you have broken clips on your stock harness, this is super convenient. So Jeremy sells these on his website, lime-swap.com. I think they're $100. It's really nice, the OEM connector here. So I initially put the adapters in this, but once he said he was going to do this, I held off on reinstalling the intake manifold so I could install this injector harness. And now I'm going to go install this. I'm going to put the factory manifold back on. We're going to put the map sensor from the LS9 in, which is a 3-bar map. Hook everything back up, get the alternator back installed, get the brackets back installed, get the belt installed, and then load everything up in terms of the downpipe hardware, the downpipe material. We have a bunch of 4-inch material. We have a Marmon flange, the intercooler piping material, which is really just, it's not really, I don't want to say intercooler piping because we're not running an intercooler. So it's 3-inch charge piping from the turbo to the intake manifold to the throttle body. We're going to weld in the blow-off valve as well as the small flange for the methanol injection. So what we're doing is running E85 and supplementing an intercooler with meth injection. So that is the goal. Shouldn't really need the meth injection too much when you're just putzing around town, daily driving. But as many of you know, if you have a meth injection kit, it's typically operated off of a Hobbs switch, so the more boost it sees, the more meth it sprays. So if you're not really in boost, you're not really going to be spraying much boost juice, that Snow Performance calls it. So that's what we're running with. So let's go ahead, let's get this stuff back together, and then I need to get it on the trailer, and we'll pick this video up tomorrow when we get to Matt's shop, and you'll see a couple folks that are really good friends of mine, absolute great fabricators, also fellow Grassroots Motorsports $2,000 Challenge participants. It's going to be a good time. All right, so got the spark plugs out. This is the factory plug here. This is an AC Delco 12598004. This is the stock plug. Now this is the plug that we're going to be using. So this is the NGK LTR71X-11. It's a heat range 7. As you can see, this is the long reach plug. They are almost identical. Now this plug is what V6 Cyclones use, as well as Coyote motors. So this is a great plug. They are still iridium tip, just like the factory. This one I've already gapped to 25 thousandths, so you can see here the difference between a stock gap and a closed gap for boost. So we're going to get these in prior to putting the intake manifold on. because I almost forgot about it. It's a little bit easier. No manifold, no throttle body in the way, just to get to all the plugs, all the coils. So we're going to throw these in, and then we will get the manifold back on. All right, so we're at my buddy's Matt's shop, Cruiser Matt's Off-Road Performance. You want to say hi to the people? There's some pretty awesome stuff here. LSA swapped 40, some other awesome Land Cruisers. This thing's pretty sweet. Toyota Corona with a 1J swap. Pretty awesome. Well, we're here because Matt is an excellent fabricator. He does tons of cool stuff. He's great at welding, and we're gonna start mounting the manifold for the final time, hopefully. I'm going to put the turbo on, start mocking up the downpipe. We have a bunch of downpipe material over here, and then also start to fab up the charge pipe and hopefully get everything done. If everything goes super well, maybe we'll hear some turbo noises, but that will all depend on another buddy of mine, also named Matt, who is writing a startup tune in the background. So we're gonna get to work and hopefully get some work done, get some progress made, and make some turbo noises. Yes. Joining us is Dale-athan. Dale, can I call you Dale? Dale. So now that we have the charge pipe pretty much done, minus the blow-off valve, as much as we wanted to keep heating this thing, I don't think it's possible. Do you? No. So we're gonna pull it off the heater core, take this upper hose, and then just where that clamp is down there, just loop them. That way it opens this area up for the downpipe. And Matt is already working on a tight radius 90 now. Yeah, buddy. We're making progress around here, that's for sure. All right, so a lot has happened. Tell them how you shorten the shaft there.
Cut it, made it shorter.
Yeah, so that bad boy sticks out right there. It's like 6 1/4 inches. Now it's like 3 inches, just to give us a little bit more room for the downpipe. We had to actually delete the heat, so no snow racing for this thing. And then cut the, oops, great. Cut the line from the head coming out of the heater core, and then it's gonna go into that, just loop through. And then Matt did some fantastic fabrication here. Getting the old blow-off valve flange on here. So it sits on the turbo like this. If you noticed earlier, maybe it set a little high. Well, we did that intentionally so the blow-off valve could have a little bit of an angle and sit off here. Went through this. If you guys didn't watch Calvin's video, Knife Life 57's video on making sure you go through this wastegate, if you get the Amazon one, I highly recommend it. These 3 bolts here that bolt the diaphragm to the lower body have little O-rings, and if you don't inspect them, there's a good chance that you'll have a boost leak there. That is exactly what happened here. Every single O-ring was destroyed. I don't even know what I did with the old ones, but they were all gone. We also cut a paper gasket, not for that, but for something else. And now we are getting ready to start the downpipe, and simultaneously, while Matt and Dale work on that, pulled the tank to put the fuel pump in. This is going to be version 1. Version 2, I want to get the Trailblazer SS hat. They sell a hat that has a feed and return on it, and it's all AN styles. And then eventually we'll probably weld AN fittings onto the factory rail, which is stainless, and then have a full return system with a regulator. But for now, version 1, getting it ready like this. It'll stay returnless. I put this fuel pump in. This is a 450 liter per hour. Essentially just a Walbro 450. This is meant for this Trailblazer, so we're going to get this installed and simultaneously do the downpipe. Also, Dale installed the drain for the turbo, and it's pretty awesome. Is that even threaded in there yet?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's down there. It's hard to see, but it's in the pan.
Keep the laser pointer out.
Yeah, right. It's a little 10 AN, a 1/2 inch MPT down there. Sick. So we've been fighting some stuff. There's the drain there for the turbo. See the oil feed line come across. That's still the accumulator lines. Had to modify that heater hose fitting. Tell them how much fun the downpipe is, Matt.
This is a nightmare. This is a total nightmare.
It is. It's
Don't
not
do
fun.
this. Don't do this.
It looks like there's a lot of room, but it's deceiving, and really there's not. We modified the location of where the trans dipstick is mounted and broke the trans dipstick in the process. The factory exhaust has been removed. There's part of it there, there's part of it there, part of it there. The tank is back installed with the 450 Walboro pump. I'm not really sure how this is going to work running a returnless system with no way to bump fuel pressure and boost. So on 7 to 9 psi, maybe it's fine, but I'm not really sure. I think that tank's going to have to come back out. And now I have to put a return fitting in it and run a line up to a regulator on the factory rail and then deadhead it and send it back from the regulator. But that's where we're at. Gonna make some more changes to the downpipe and hopefully we can get it to fit. Problem is, when we were putting the downpipe in here, we couldn't get the wastegate in with it, so we're trying to keep the wastegate location in the factory spot without having to get any sort of extension piece to remote mount the wastegate. I prefer the wastegate to be right there, so we're trying to accommodate that. Worst comes to absolute worst, the exhaust will come out the hood, but I really don't want to do that. I'd rather it come through here, use the factory spot, and kind of at least come back here to this hanger here and then turn down until I get the SS bumper, in which then I'll go over the axle and then out the back and through the SS bumper. But that's a ways down the road. Let's get this downpipe modified and hopefully we can finish up. Anyone that wants to do one of these really needs to proceed with caution. There's not a lot of room for the downpipe. I think we're on hour 3 or 4 making it, so fingers crossed this thing is super worth it when it's done. Well, calling it a night. Downpipe's done. Got a whole bunch of cuts here. Needs to be welded up, but it's late. Still need a couple things done, but not much. Wastegate is installed, and with the downpipe in, we actually clear the wastegate and clear the manifold. Yeah, I think we're good. So, looking good. Hopefully gonna start up soon. Maybe in like a week or so. How fun was that? They're huge fans of the 4200.
They just find the car.